to a special edition of the Neighborhood Watch. I'm Matt.
I'm Pat. Welcome.
I'm Abe.
I'm Brett.
And we have special guest, Aparna.
Matt ready.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming back. She was on our show back during the elections, and so we appreciate
Halloween
you coming
episode.
back. Yes, it was the
Yes.
Halloween
Yeah,
episode.
Yeah, that was
Kyle's
the
house.
scary
Kyle's house. Scary Halloween. And that was a really fun night.
Back.
So what have you been doing since the election?
A lot actually. So as you know, I lost big. So right after November 6th, I was down with high fever for 4 days, and that takes a lot of effort because I barely was going with 3 hours sleep, and suddenly my body was like, what are we going to do now? So I said, okay, let me get sick. So 4 days of high fever,
A lot of stress and
body
everything
ache,
on you.
everything.
Yeah.
And then I traveled to Virginia, and then I come back, and then we get into this big car accident. The car was totaled. It was a almost near death experience.
Wow.
I'm not sure how we survived, my husband and I. We were driving on 680 North, and a lady was on the phone. She said that she was texting, and she hit the car in front of her, and that guy was a 21-year-old, and his reflexes had not blossomed. So he decided to hit the car in front of him and then come into our carpool lane and hit us. All at that full speed that we were going on.
Oh my goodness.
5:30 in the evening on Thursday evening.
Wow.
So our car just hit the median, went across all lanes of traffic, no brakes, airbags deployed. I had no recollection what happened. All I know is there were 2 drivers who got out their cars and said, just get out of your car because it was smoking, and there was a burning smell. So we survived that. My daughter was flying home the next day, so I thought I was never going to see her.
Any injuries? Were you guys
Nothing.
okay?
I just had a little swelling here and a little swelling there. Nothing. 3 days.
Very
and
lucky.
then we just managed. And right after that, I became a victim of a scam. So never.
It wasn't a good end of 2018 for you.
No, this is going into 2019
Okay.
January now. So a person I know really well emailed me, can you buy some Amazon gift cards for me? I'm really busy. And I said, sure. So I was busy myself, but I wrapped up my work. I ran to Safeway, brought the cards, and I said, I have the cards. Do you want me to drop it off? And she said, no, just scratch the thing and send it to me. I took pictures and I sent it. And she said, I miscalculated. Can you send me $500 more? And I said, I'm busy. So I sent my husband, and he's in a meeting, and he said, do you really want me to go? I said, well, she's in a meeting too, probably just go and get it. After I sent that second set, it just hit me like a ton of bricks, like, oh my God, wait a minute, what did I just do? Because you finish your work and then you realize that's not how we communicate. She always calls or texts, and so I texted, I said, please tell me you asked for $1,000 gift card, and she said no.
Wow.
So now I'm panicking. I'm telling my husband, get on Amazon customer service, red flag those card codes, and I'm emailing this person pretending that I haven't caught on. And she had asked for 500 more. And I said, my friend's dog is sick. I will take care of it, and then I'll go and buy some more. So either this was a newbie fraudster or got greedy. She or he only ended up spending $330 off the 1,000.
Wow.
So the rest were all red flags. So we covered the rest of it.
good for you.
All on Amazon.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. I've had that happen through work, and a couple of associates. Yeah, it's the same thing. Get an email from somebody you know, and they say they're in a meeting, and they need to do this. And for work, they said, "Oh, well, it's for a customer event," and da da da. I knew the person, and I'm like, oh, I didn't think they would do that. So I clicked on their name on the email, and it was I saw that the email address wasn't her.
Yeah, see, I didn't do that.
It wasn't her. It was a different email, and I tried to mess with them a little bit back and forth, but that's happened a few times.
Well,
going through the business world.
And I took advice from our city manager. He was at a meeting. I said, what do I do? He said, normally you are not that lucky to get back money. So I filed a police report to see if we can track, but we couldn't do anything about that. And then we ended up buying a second car. I was driving ahead of my husband, and my husband got hit by a person who again admitted she was on the phone.
Wow.
And that car hasn't been. So I've really been busy.
Thanks.
Stay off your phones, people.
Yeah, come on, we talked about this. Stay off your phones.
And I also realized, because we bought this car from Fremont, and this was on a Saturday afternoon, how crowded the freeways have gotten.
Oh, yeah,
It
it's
took
bad.
us an hour and a half
Yeah.
to drive from Fremont to San Ramon.
Wow.
And then I was breathing a sigh of relief, like I'm here. I was clutching my steering wheel. I don't want to get in an accident now. So
Right.
that's where I am. But then this happened. Candace Anderson's office, she's the supervisor for District 2.
Okay.
She reached out and said, would you like to be my appointee for the Contra Costa County Census 2020 Steering Committee?
Okay.
And my only question to her was, would I have to parallel park? Because I cannot parallel park even if my life depended. I said, otherwise the deal is off. She said, no, we'll make arrangements, because they meet in Martinez, and I know how it is. If I went there for jury duty, I could not, I had to Uber and spend money for jury duty because I couldn't parallel park.
Wow.
So that's what I've been doing, promoting the census. It's a very important census, because our demographics have shifted, not only in San Ramon but other District 2 cities, and everybody needs to be counted. And I would like to share a little bit of information on that before you have,
Great.
if you have any questions, I'll answer
Yeah,
that.
Go ahead.
So counting the census, one of the things most people don't realize is they think it's only adults or citizens who should be counted. It's everybody. So say there is an expectant mother, and she is going to deliver on April 1st, 2020, or after that, those babies need to be counted. Or if a mom delivered 2 or 3 days back and they're in the hospital, they need to be counted. Because every time you stop counting, 5% undercount, if we do that, we stand to lose over $1 billion
Wow.
in the next 10 years.
Wow.
And that is critical funding that's needed for our schools, libraries, infrastructure, housing policies. Where will retail stores go? We have to know what kind of demographics we have and how we cater to those population groups. So the harder to count population groups are generally speaking, also not, they do not have English as their first language.
Right.
So they are very skeptical anyways of the government, of, like some people said, they don't trust the government. And I come
That was
from
a joke.
I come from India. So for us, when we saw a census taker, we would just slam the door shut. So I get it. I mean, it's like there was some contagious disease that we don't want to talk to you. But those are the precise people who are going to visit your house if you do not take the census online. So it is extremely important. It'll take less than 10 minutes. Just go online, first time ever in census history, it will be online. You can also do it by mail, over the phone. They're making it very easy. They're spending close to $480 million in marketing and advertising.
Wow.
The U.S. Census Bureau, just to make sure people understand how critical it is. Children need to be counted, and the citizenship question that the Trump administration wanted, that is still doing the rounds of the Supreme Court.
Right.
It's been
Yeah.
rejected by 3 courts. So we will know by
That
end
hearing's
of
coming
April.
up, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yeah, it's the last one. So the courts in California and I believe Maryland and New York, they said no to that question. So it's very simple questions as of now. It's just going to ask if you are a citizen or not, but that's not asking your legal status or anything as of now. I don't know what the Supreme Court is going to decide. Data is all statistical. No personal information ever
Right.
goes out. It's just not. It's not worth it if they share information. There is a fine of $250,000
Wow.
or 5 years in
wow.
prison
Wow.
or both.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
Holy
I
cow.
don't think it's worth it. So as of now, there are many hirings going on. I had friends who applied. There were supervisory roles and non-supervisory roles. You want to be in a flexible role in your community. That's what the Census Bureau wants. And so we have hirings
fan
now.
So we got a call in.
And then we have, that's probably the Census Bureau.
Probably is.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Perfect
my son
timing.
wanting to know how he can
Like
be
we've been
counted.
tracking this
Yes,
guy, Pat.
and then we have hirings going on in the second phase in fall. So people need to be aware of how the forms need to be filled out. There are opportunities for students, college students, adults, retired people. Anybody can be hired as long as you don't have a criminal record.
Got it.
You have to be a citizen to be hired. These are federal jobs. And so this one is for the census taker job, but there are many more applications. A lot of the information is on my website. Please go to my website for the census jobs. Aparna, I forgot my website.
We can
Well,
get it from you.
yeah.
We'll get it, we'll
Aparna,
post
yeah,
it on there
thank
so
you.
they can see
I've
it.
been
Yeah.
doing the census thing, so I forgot. It even if you go to 2020 census jobs, you will see all the job openings.
Okay.
Be good for somebody, I think, to do,
Yeah.
like, so maybe a
Yeah.
retired person or,
Yes.
When-
you
many
know,
when
just
retired
somebody
people.
looking to get around the neighborhood.
What are the, I like the job,
And then
like
you can
now,
post
are
on
these
it.
jobs opening?
Yes.
Are
Oh,
you hiring
absolutely.
right now?
Ongoing.
Okay.
Thousands of jobs.
wow.
I mean,
Do you have to be
they
a certain age or?
18 and above.
18.
Yeah, but there are other
Kids got
opportunities for
spared.
high school students.
I was gonna say, get them in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you barely are making it to the 18-year mark, so I think they will hire you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're up, you're good, Abe, you can do it.
So questions, and that was my little presentation on the census.
All right.
Questions. I am presenting at all the District 2 cities. I was presenting at, I did my presentation at Walnut Creek City Council. Then I'm doing it for our City Council tomorrow, even though they were very good and adopted the resolution. So I've been doing my outreach
Good,
efforts.
excellent.
2 events, April 28th and May 5th in San Ramon. Please come and attend, get information if you want to get the jobs or apply. The regional recruiter will be there to help answer any questions. And then I won't be doing any more formal events in San Ramon, it will be in other cities. So.
Job opportunities and you're helping your country.
And your community,
And
and
your
your
city.
city, yeah, get the fair share of
Perfect,
funds.
yeah,
When-
let's get our
when-
money.
When do, I mean, can we go online now or is
No,
that-
the census form, so you will be invited to participate beginning March 12th, 2020.
Okay.
The reason we started the outreach effort early, at least I started for District 2, is because the summer is going to be a period when most families are traveling.
Yeah.
And the information needed to get out before they start traveling. That way, whatever comes through the different networks, through the Chamber of Commerce, PTA, the city, people are going to stay tuned in. Like, okay,
Got it.
I already heard about this, I know about it.
Yeah.
I think to be at that point of awareness, and then people start filling it out.
Sure.
If you forget to fill it out, you will start getting gentle reminders as postcards, and then the knocking will start.
Yeah.
Alright.
With the census taker. So those are the census taker job applications. Those are the
So
people who
that's
will.
when we hide.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's when you're done.
They'll still find you.
That's
They
when you
found
have
me
the
last
ring-
time.
the
They
ring
found me.
They'll
camera to
keep
check.
coming and bothering you, so it's better to
Yeah,
do it. And
just
it's
do it.
required
Get it out of the
by
way.
law.
Don't
And it's
procrastinate.
important,
Yes.
right? And, you know,
It is.
you're
it
right,
is
I
needed.
hid probably 10 years ago. So maybe I
It's
won't this year.
wonderful community service. We are helping our city. Our cities are always looking for ways to find funds, and this is the best way we can help our city. And I don't want to seem very biased and do all the outreach here, which I have been doing, because other cities will think like, oh, she lives in San Ramon and she did a lot of it here. But no, this message has to carry on in other cities as well, that this is important.
Excellent.
Perfect.
Very good.
Good.
So
Any questions?
yeah, so you also have a newsletter, right? That's
Yes.
on your website, which we'll
Yes.
find out when you remember.
Yes.
So what do you write on the
Aparna
newsletter?
for San Ramon. Sorry. Oh, I didn't come.
What is it? You remember?
Aparna for San Ramon. Aparnaforsanramon.com.
There you
Oh,
go.
there we go.
What do you write about in the newsletter?
So the newsletter started off with 5 pages
Okay.
initially. It was all city meetings, all stuff going on in San Ramon. Then it started expanding because people from other cities started saying, well, you should include our events, what we are doing. And I said, who am I to say no? If you're sending me information, I'll put it in. Initially, it was our northern neighbors. Danville started sending. Then this time, I was very surprised. I started getting subscriptions from people living in San Jose and Santa Clara. And I was really wondering what's going on, and then somebody told me maybe these are people who work in Bishop Ranch, and
Yeah.
they want to know what's going on, so that makes sense.
Mhm.
So I put in a lot of events, volunteer opportunities for nonprofits. People are emailing me like if there are opportunities for high school students or for stay-at-home moms if they want to. So we have wonderful opportunities. Help out the nonprofits and make use of your time. If you are retired, if you have children who want some hours for their volunteer hours, these are great ways. And then of course keeping everybody up to date on what's going on in our community.
Cool.
Very cool.
And there are hot topics that are right now
Yeah.
unfolding
The
in different
5G, the
parts.
Church
Yes.
of the Valley,
Yes. The golf course.
the golf
course.
course.
All
those-
these things we talk about,
The
she's talking about. So
districting.
it's just another way to
Yes.
get information
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
from another
No,
source.
it's really
And-
good too.
Yeah.
It's good info.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's
I
all
get
from
it.
the meetings, and whatever is discussed or talked about, I just try to summarize that, put a link in. That way, those who want to read the details,
Mhm.
Yeah.
they can go in and read
really
the details
helpful.
for that. Yeah,
Yeah, I
for
like
that
it.
topic. So that's the newsletter.
That's awesome. So obviously you were disappointed about the election.
For the first 24 hours, very disappointed.
But you seem very busy now,
Very.
and you're doing something that is beneficial to your newsletter is touching. How many people are actually subscribing to your?
This time around, when I finished counting, I haven't counted. I still got some new, but it's over 2,600 now.
That's awesome.
Wow. Yeah. That's great.
So I
Incredible.
feel a lot of people are interested in reading what's going out, and
Mhm.
I'm hoping
Yeah.
to add more stuff in terms of what's going on in other cities. And
So we'll put the
Yeah.
link in the description to her website, Aparna for San Ramon.
Go on and subscribe and get the info.
Yeah,
it's good
that's
stuff.
great. We've had a lot of people ask about when we're going to have you back on to talk about this, so it's really
Yes.
cool that we got to
Well,
do
the
this.
elections actually, I think they just kind of helped me understand a lot more about the process of what people are looking for, what people are talking about. So I know I lost. Definitely I lost by every statistic, everything. But because I never attached myself to outcomes, I didn't feel that intense pain after the first 24 hours. It did feel like, and there was nothing I could have done. I felt I did whatever was needed of me. I guess the universe always has other plans, and you have to respect that. So for me, it was not very hard to transition. I always like to move on and see what else I can do. So when this opportunity came, and it's like unleashing my creativity, not just in San Ramon now, but in all the other cities along
Yeah.
the 680 corridor. So it's always a good thing to keep reinventing and moving forward.
Absolutely.
with
That's great.
whatever you
Excellent.
have, and
Mhm.
do whatever you do. So did you have more questions about the elections, or about
No.
the things going on in San Ramon?
Yeah, like just things, the hot topics that we've been talking about have been that 5G,
Yes.
the golf course, the Church of the Valley. Like
Yes.
the last couple weeks, we've been religiously talking about these topics.
Yeah.
And that seems to be on Nextdoor what most people want to talk about. So for someone
Yeah.
who's got kind of inside perspective, anything you could share on that would
Well,
be
the
great.
Church of the Valley, the final hearing is coming up on April 30th. It's the City Council that's going to make the final decision. This project, I think Fulcrum loves to come forward with very ambitious, robust projects. They came up with a similar project. It was even more ambitious in Clayton. And last year, they were essentially asked to buzz off. I believe it was a 3-story, same memory care building that they wanted, and the square footage was immense for the area that they were proposing. So I would assume somebody like that would learn their lesson and see the area and then say, okay, this is pretty tight to fit in something that big. And residents that I was speaking to last year, and even now, they were not against the project per se. What they were against was the setback. And nobody will want somebody else looking into your backyard or into your home, and respect that. that thing, and just the school they scaled down. It was a two-story building, and now it's a one-story and 60 to 90 preschoolers. That's something I see scaled down, but this one they have not scaled down the building footprint, and they are pretty adamant about moving forward.
If they move the setback, is that the main issue?
The
Is
setback, well, the
If they
creek.
move that, would that
There
take care
is
of the
a
problem?
creek,
Or?
the Norris Creek, and when I was attending these meetings at the Planning Commission, there was a gentleman there who had a video of Norris Creek when it was after the rains. It is pretty.
Yeah, river.
Yes, it is
Yeah.
not a drainage ditch. It is a creek, and being mindful of that, putting something when the ordinance says 100-foot creek setback, you should not
Yeah.
have. Why is that being not taken into account?
Yeah, absolutely.
So those are very legitimate points. I did speak I was hearing till the end, hoping they would change. Until the end, the only thing I could think of was goodwill. What about the goodwill of the residents? You're going to start a project and nobody around you is happy.
Yeah.
Is that project
Yeah.
going to flourish in the
Right,
long run?
yeah.
Think about it. I
Yeah.
mean, I wouldn't do something like that. So again, the setback requirements are not specified for public, semi-public zoning in our the
Got
zoning
it.
ordinance. So the planning commission could have done it, they didn't. Now the city council has the option to do that, and if they have that adequate setback, I think people would be more open to listening and
Oh, yeah.
talking to them. So that's for the Church of the Valley. That's where we are. We'll know next week. And hoping to get the newsletter out on May 1st, because I normally like to get it out April 30th, but I'll probably be at the hearing, getting
Yeah.
the latest information and putting that out.
Very good.
So that's for Church of the Valley. The 5G, again, cash-strapped cities. It seems like a very lucrative offer when you sign a master license agreement. You're getting paid, and for our city, you're getting a license fee of say $15,000, and then for every site, you're getting $750 wherever you're installing. That's for the first 2 years. It drops to $280, $281 in the third year. It's adjusted annually by about 2%. So money coming into the city, looking for funds, it seems very lucrative. But these master license agreements, these favor the business, for-profit businesses more than the cities.
Oh, yeah.
And we will end up paying more. Will it be tiered service pricing, or will it be the same pricing for all of us? It started with 2G, 3G, 4G, and now it's 5G. AT&T already phased out 2G in 2017. So other cell phone providers are going to do the same. The wireless providers are going to do the same. So now it's just a matter of time when we switch. Well,
Yeah.
Till 6G.
to-
I need a new cell phone.
Yeah, well, everything, these
Still on
devices
1G.
won't support
Yeah.
it. Yeah, they
Okay.
all have to be upgraded, so we end up paying more
Yep.
in the long run.
Of course.
Right.
So, and when cities like Brussels say no, you have to think, why did they say no? Why did more than 200 scientists say no, put a moratorium on this, don't rush through these? So
Right.
you have to start thinking. We haven't even seen the long-term implications. We don't know one way or the other, but not to
Yeah.
rush. But our city has already signed it, and they moved forward. They've adopted the ordinance, but they will be adopting it as a policy. So the
So it's-
policy makes it easier to change the rulings that come from FCC as opposed to an ordinance, which is very rigid. So this is going to be more of a policy.
Okay.
But still, you are still deferring to the wireless company.
I think a lot of concerns for people were the radiation
Yes.
and stuff like that. And close to schools, children,
Yes.
cancer.
And it's all about high frequency,
Yeah.
so they have to have, and the range is very limited. It's not more than a kilometer. So the macro, the big cell towers, 2 to 3 kilometers. So this one, because it's limited, it's very narrowly spaced to provide the best quality service, is what they're saying. We have 6,500 light poles, and so if they start putting it on each one, imagine
Yeah.
how much we will have. And maybe I shouldn't have said that. I mean, with all the housing bills that are coming from Sacramento, they're going to say 6,500 light poles. Let's put housing next to each light pole. We'll have more housing than we can imagine.
Yeah, how can we fit
Yeah.
any more?
Make sure you pay attention to what Senator Scott Wiener is doing. He is the person to watch out for. He's up for re-election next year. The most preposterous housing bills, and I said this last year, Senator Scott Wiener comes up with these bills that there must be some method to this, his madness, but it's not really helping cities. Cities are losing control.
Yeah.
And cities like us, we are charter city, but we have no control when these bills start coming out. So, yeah, I shouldn't say 6,500. Let's say 65. So.
Let's hope he doesn't watch.
Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go.
If he does, I mean, that'd be cool. But, you know, this has been very informative. We appreciate the insight and, you know, knowledge that you are giving us and stuff like that. So we're definitely going to check out your newsletter and get subscribed to that. Anything you guys want to add?
I had this my favorite subject, the districting,
Yes.
and I just wondered what you thought about. I mean, that's kind of it's a big thing.
It is.
It's a big
It's going
thing.
to change the way elections happen in San Ramon. No,
Yeah.
you can't have two candidates that you would pick. You would just pick the one from
Yeah.
your district. Again, it would
And we're going to be in
alternate.
districts. I mean, for that matter. I mean, we're
Yes.
Yeah,
Only
we're-
the mayor would be elected at large. Honestly, initially when I heard this, I did not like that because I felt it was going to divide the community.
Mhm.
Right now, if you look at the district lines, Doherty Valley is almost a separate entity.
yeah.
We were already separate on that side and separate on this side. This is going to increase the divide.
Mhm.
And to say that council members would work together for the benefit of the whole city, I don't think so because I've seen how it is in other cities.
Mhm.
Say, I'll give you an example. Suppose there is a big
Golf course.
I was trying to avoid that. I was going to say a big
Church?
no, let's
Cell
go
tower.
to forget it. A road that needs repair. Let's
Yeah.
forget all the buildings. I was going to name a
Alright.
building, but you guys are. So this road has the worst pavement conditioning in the PCI, and then you have on the other side, say in Doherty Valley, the tree issue where the trees are ripping off sidewalks, entering your garage, ripping off your garage, and one is up for re-election in, say, the Doherty Valley, and the one in the South San Ramon side is
Off here.
not on
Yeah.
for re-election. What is going to happen with the funds? Are they going to not try and get it over there and have these
Yeah.
people here, like, wait it out? It's okay. That person is up for re-election. I have
Yeah.
seen that happen. It has happened in India. I've seen it so many times. I've seen it in other cities in the Bay Area. I mean, it would depend on the council members, and I'm hoping our council members would not fall into that category.
Yeah,
of,
let's
thinking.
cross our fingers.
Yes, but
Yeah.
but elections bring out people's things like I mean it's like it's our district. Let's get the funds
Yeah.
there, and
Yeah.
or let's get the funds there. And this is also true for school district. They are also being districted.
Yeah.
So funding for your school or the other school, who's suffering at the end? It would be the
What's-
children.
I don't get what the advantage to doing it is.
I wasn't sure either because
Okay.
the lawyer said, Scott Rafferty, his
Yeah.
justification is that apparently my kind of population are not feeling represented. I have lived here for 22 years and I have had no problems. I felt I was plenty represented, my needs were met, everything was taken care of. I loved how the city worked.
Yeah.
So, and I was okay with campaigning citywide. I
Yeah.
didn't mind
Yeah.
that. I
Yeah.
loved that. So, I mean, that's the only advantage. Now
Yeah.
you just, in your district, you walk a little bit and you're done. I mean, it's as simple as
Yeah.
that.
So, like, what district is the priority? You know, when it comes
Yeah.
to money and stuff like that. That seems kind of
That's what is
really
up in the air
it's
right
the
now.
Hunger Games, man.
Yeah,
It is.
That's
fighting
what.
each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not.
And that
what's-
happened on election day too, when he sent that letter for whatever.
Yes, he
wire
sent it
was
right on November
election
6th.
day.
Yeah, that it's something that they want to
Power
move
game.
forward with, and if you deny him that, he is going to sue the city.
Yeah.
So, Again, we are a charter city where the voters are supposed to decide these things. Obviously, that's not happening. It's all coming
Yeah,
down.
that was given to us.
Yeah.
As in,
Yeah.
that
There you
you
go.
have to do it.
Yeah.
So,
Crazy.
I don't know how it's going to work out for our city. I'm an eternal optimist. I'll hope it'll all work out
Yeah.
really well.
All right.
Yeah.
Great.
Very
Great.
good.
Awesome.
Pat, anything you want to add?
No, a lot of good information. I mean, appreciate you coming
Jam-packed
back
and
on.
Thank
Hey,
you.
welcome
Thank you
back.
for having
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm tired. It's about I don't know 5 in the morning over there, so I'm still
Yeah, so-
adjusting to
Oh,
the
you
jet
just
lag.
got
Which-
coming over from the bar.
Which leads us to, Pat was in Portugal last week, so we are going to end the episode with a nice little fun video that Pat sent me. I hope you guys enjoy it. On behalf of the guys here, we thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We appreciate this, and guys, check out Aparna for San Ramon. .com,
.com.
right?
I hope I said it right.
And we're gonna double check that, but Aparna for SanRamon.com. Check that out for more information, guys. Thank you. We love you, San Ramon.
See you
Stay
next week.
Classy.
Be good. Okay, here we are. Look at these guys. Oh yeah. Here we go.
So